How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today, we're gonna be testing out a new type of RV water heater. This is a hybrid tankless RV water heater. Yes, a hybrid one. And I think looking at the specs and the technology that they packed into it, I think it's gonna solve a lot of the problems that other RV water heaters have out there. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So this new hybrid RV water heater that we're going to be testing out is the Fogatti InstaShower Ultra. And one of the things that should make this different than a lot of the other tankless water heaters that are out there is that it has a mixing reservoir in there, which should make the water temperatures way more consistent across the board. And it's that hybrid function of being a tankless water heater with a very small mixing tank that makes that possible. But it's also expected to be impressive on its BTU performance, so you should be able to use multiple fixtures at the same time. So if we spin it around, you can see the specs on the back, so that way we can get an overview of what to expect from this unit. Let's break this down. So 66,000 BTU with the ability to heat up 3.9 gallons per minute. That's what should give it the function of being able to have multiple fixtures on at the same time, and it's still able to heat that up water instantly to deliver hot water to multiple fixtures. The other number here on the back is 8,500 BTU, which is the lower setting that it's able to go to. So hopefully we're going to be able to see the ability to be able to dial down that hot water to be able to get better mixing and more comfortable dialed in showers. So we're going to test out to see if we can have the shower going and somebody doing dishes at the same time, and if this can handle that. On a standard water heater, you would never do that because you would run out of hot water for a shower, but we'll see how this handles it. But now, more than just the specs on here, there's something about this water heater that sets it apart from what has typically been our favorite RV tankless water heater, which is the Truma. And the difference with this one is you can install this yourself and it's a fraction of the price. If you go to have the Truma installed on your RV, it's going to cost you significantly more and you're not allowed to do it yourself. You're not able to order the product in order to install it yourself, and then you really don't have a warranty if you don't have it installed by a dealer. This you can install yourself, and it has some of that technology from the Truma that we really like. So let's get this set up and see how it actually performs. If it performs as good as I think it will, it's going to be a great unit. As far as the install, it's pretty straightforward, except for one key point that you really have to pay attention to when swapping out this water heater. But I really want to get to the test because if it doesn't test out great, then what does the install really matter? So let's see how it does with actually using the unit. So the first thing I want to test is mixing in cold water. This is usually the Achilles heel or the problem that all tankless water heaters typically have. Okay, so on the thermostat, I have it set to 116 degrees. Of course, you would mount this somewhere inside the RV, but let's give it a try. Okay, that's up to temperature, definitely pretty hot. I'm going to mix in some cold water. I'm doing this here so that we can hear the water heater. Usually when you mix in a little bit of cold, the water heater just shuts off and then you just get a cold blast and it's a miserable shower. We've definitely added in cold water. So let's bring it down below what would be a comfortable shower because that's just not even possible usually. The Truma can do it, but not any other tankless water heaters can achieve that. It's mixed, this is still running. We're mixing hot and cold without any problems whatsoever. So now I wanted to test turning the water off and turning it back on because usually in a tankless water heater, that's where you get that blast of cold water. Where the tankless water heater is cycling back on, you get that cold water before it really heats it up, which isn't long, but it's enough to be very uncomfortable in a shower. So let's go ahead and turn it back on. It's hot, very hot. No blast of cold water at all though. It was hot all the way through. There was a section where it dipped down slightly for a split second, but definitely not cold. But it was almost hard to detect that. So definitely passed both of those tests. Now, I'm still going to be doing a real shower test to see how it fully handles a shower because tests aren't always the same as actually taking a shower. So I will be doing that, but I also want to see how it's going to do with the multiple streams. So the shower and the dishes at the same time, seeing how it handles two things at once. So to start off, I got the shower going to a comfortable temperature of what a typical shower would be. And then I slid over to start on the dishes. This is the farthest fixture from our water heater, so once the hot water got there, I had complete control over the water temperature, from the hot to the cold, being able to mix it exactly how I wanted to. But then I realized it's better to have this test actually flipped. Somebody doing dishes, because you're going to be turning water off and on, and somebody in the shower seeing if you can see the difference. So I called out to have somebody turn the water on and off in the kitchen while I was feeling the temperature of the shower water. And when somebody would turn on the kitchen faucet, I can feel a decrease in pressure. It doesn't have anything to do with the water heater. It's just because RVs are plumbed with 1/2-inch PEX pipe and it only has so much volume that can go through there. But feeling the shower, it still maintained having hot water in there while using the kitchen sink. So it can keep up with 2 different sources at the same time, but you will feel different fluctuations in that water pressure and slight temperature changes as that's happening and as it's adjusting to water being turned on and off. But it can do both simultaneously. So now all these tests are great. I want to see how it actually performs using it for a real shower. That's going to be a key test, especially a boondocking shower, doing a true boondocking shower where you turn it off, turn it on, and see what that is like inside any cold blast or not. The second one is it's going to be raining here soon, and so they do advertise that it has a weatherproof design, a hydro shield, so that rain and wind won't affect it as it's operating. But for now, I'm going to give it the real shower test, because that's the complaint for a lot of people with tankless water heaters out there. So now the results of the shower test, and it's actually been a couple of days, so I've taken multiple showers in here with this water heater. And I can say that it solved the problems that we've had with other tankless water heaters in the past. I was able to mix the water in here using hot and cold without any problems whatsoever. The water heater never turned off by me mixing the water in here. That's the problem that a lot of other tankless water heaters have out there, is you don't have that ability. So typically what you do is you set your temperature on your thermostat, you only use hot in here, and that's how you get your hot shower. You don't really get to mix hot and cold. But with this, because it has that mixing reservoir in there, it allows us to be able to mix our hot and cold without it just shutting off. So no more having to set the thermostat before you get into the shower. You can just set it right at your faucet in the shower, which has always been the hope. The ability to be able to dial in your water just like you are on a tank water heater, but not being limited by the amount of water as you would be on a tank water heater. We've done both. It's not even close to the same, especially with us when we were full-time, having a family of 4, shower after shower after shower. There was 0 recovery time. You didn't have to wait in between the showers at all. It's one of the reasons why we've enjoyed having a tankless water heater. Now, as far as the install, like I said, it was pretty straightforward. You have your cold water connection, you have your hot water connection, which both of those are standard, along with the propane is also a standard connection. Then you're just left with connecting up the thermostat and the 12 volt. The 12 volt, I couldn't use the switch for the old water heater. I just had to make sure that I had a source that went back to the 12 volt battery. So that was the only thing that I couldn't use from the old water heater. So now for me, this water heater, the Fogatti InstaShower Ultra, has 4 advantages that solve the problems that other RV water heaters have out there. Number 1, being able to mix the hot and the cold without the water heater shutting off is key in an instant hot water heater. Well, this one being hybrid kind of solves that without having a large tank on the water heater. So it responds like a normal tank water heater, but you have endless hot water. You're not limited by capacity. Because it's hybrid, the second thing is that you can take that boondocking shower. You're not going to get a blast of cold water like you would on other tankless water heaters that are out there. The only other tankless water heater we've had on those first 2 is the Truma. But the third one is being able to use multiple fixtures at the same time off of the one water heater. You would never try that on a tank water heater just because you wouldn't have the capacity on a normal RV tank water heater to use a shower and do dishes at the same time. It just wouldn't be possible. But the fourth one is a big one. Being able to install this yourself and at the price point that it is makes this a lot more achievable for other people out there. Compared to the Truma, it gets pretty expensive when you look at the price of the unit. It's the most expensive one out there, and you have to pay somebody to install it. So it gets pretty spendy pretty quick. But this one, you can. So at that price point and being able to install it yourself with all the advantages packed into it, it's a great unit. They did send me this unit and I do have a discount code to be able to pass along to you, but this is the RV water heater that I've been looking for a DIY option for people out there to be able to install themselves. So the discount code and the links to the water heater will be down in the description because they do have multiple tankless water heaters out there. And this one, some of the features that are packed into this are unique to this InstaShower Ultra. But I hope this review helps you out in seeing how it actually performed for us and our RV and how we were able to use it. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope that it helped you out in some ways. So as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.